Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're taking a magnifying glass to the growth strategy of a seriously fast-moving real estate company. We're breaking down the Adicia Developers Real Estate Recruitment Prospectus. I absolutely love explainers like this because they give us a totally unfiltered look into a company's DNA, how they build their teams, what they actually value, and the nuts and bolts of how they expand. So let's jump right in.
So I've got to ask, are you ready for your next big career move? Because right now, Adicia Developers is in the absolute thick of a massive expansion phase all across Tamil Nadu. Looking at this prospectus, it's pretty clear they aren't just, filling a couple of empty desks. No, they are building out a whole ecosystem of roles to actively pour fuel on this growth.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. 1. The Adicia expansion opportunity. 2. Exploring the open roles. 3. Pre-sales versus sales. 4. Employee benefits and perks. And finally, 5. Who should apply?
All right, starting with part 1, the Adicia expansion opportunity, growing across Tamil Nadu.
It's super interesting. Before they even get into the actual job descriptions, they lead right off with their culture. Adicia makes a huge point of highlighting their Great Place to Work certified workplace status. And honestly, in the high-stakes, super target-driven world of real estate, we all know burnout is a very real thing. By putting this front and center, they're basically signaling, hey, we have high expectations, but we've got a supportive environment to back it up. Oh, and definitely note that the primary hiring hub for this massive drive is Coimbatore.
Moving on to part 2, exploring the open roles, basically looking at the career ladder.
This prospectus totally removes the guesswork. It lays out a crystal clear hierarchy. If you've got 1 to 3 years of experience under your belt, you're looking at the executive tier. Rocking 4 to 7 years, that bumps you up to senior executive. Once you hit that 7 to 10 year sweet spot, you cross over into leadership as a team lead. And if you're a seasoned pro with a decade or more, you're stepping into the manager level. What's really cool here is that they're hiring a full vertical slice of the organization. It's not just entry-level folks, and it's not just top-tier bosses. They are building out complete, fully functional teams.
So what does a typical Tuesday actually look like for these early to mid-career folks? Well, for the executive, it's all about foundation building. You are literally on the front lines. You're calling leads, explaining property details, doing the follow-ups, and coordinating those absolute make-or-break site visits. You're the engine of the whole operation. Then, as you step up into that senior executive role with your 4 to 7 years of experience, the game changes a bit. You aren't just making the calls anymore. You are expected to close. The focus shifts heavily to converting those hard-earned leads into actual buyers, managing crucial long-term relationships, and, this is key, starting to mentor the junior staff coming up behind you.
Now stepping up into the leadership realities. A team lead, again, that's 7 to 10 years of experience, acts as the vital bridge. You're out there actively leading a crew of pre-sales or sales staff, keeping a close eye on daily targets, training the new blood, and jumping in to handle escalations and those high-value VIP clients. And finally, at the manager level, with 10+ years of experience, you really zoom out. You're way past just managing individuals, you're running the whole machine. Your days are all about crafting high-level sales strategies, leading massive teams, and ultimately carrying the responsibility for hitting those big business targets and driving total revenue growth.
Which brings us to part 3, pre-sales versus sales. 2 very distinct paths. For this to work, you've really got to know your own working style. Pre-sales is essentially your office-based telemarketing gig. If you totally thrive on the phone, talking to an interested customer, warming up a solid lead, and locking down an appointment, then this is absolutely your lane. You're setting up the spike. On the flip side, the sales professional role is a completely on-the-ground reality. You are out there meeting people face-to-face, walking them through the actual property projects, navigating those tricky pricing conversations, and closing the deal. You are the one spiking the ball. Both roles are incredibly vital, but man, they require totally different kinds of energy.
All right, part 4, employee benefits and perks. What Adicia is actually bringing to the table for you?
I have to say, the prospectus outlines a seriously compelling rewards package here, right at the top. Performance-based international trips. Real estate is a strictly results-driven game, and Adicia clearly believes in rewarding their top performers with some major lifestyle perks. They also put a big emphasis on professional growth opportunities, meaning they actively want you climbing that career ladder we just looked at. We see the collaborative environment mentioned again, which perfectly ties back to that Great Place to Work certification. And of course, the performance bonuses. In this industry, your base salary, that's really just the starting line. The serious financial reward comes from those target-based incentives. It's how the most driven people can massively boost their income.
But hey, it's not all just high-flying trips and big bonus checks. There's a very real, very practical safety net here too.
Adessia is offering health insurance coverage up to 5 lakh rupees. And the absolute best part? The prospectus makes it clear that this coverage isn't just for you, it covers your family too. To put that into perspective, having that kind of peace of mind when you're grinding in a high-pressure, fast-paced sales environment is practically priceless. It really shows they're looking out for the employee's holistic well-being.
And finally, part 5. Who should apply? Let's find out if you're the right match.
Okay, before you go polishing up that resume, let's run through the mandatory eligibility checklist. Step 1. You've got to hold a graduate degree. Honestly, any degree will do the trick, but you absolutely need that foundational qualification. Step 2. A minimum of 1 year of relevant experience. This isn't a first job out of college kind of deal. You need to already know your way around a professional workspace. And step 3, while they just say relevant experience, the prospectus explicitly notes that a real estate background is highly preferred. If you've got past experience in real estate sales, property marketing, or telemarketing for property, your application is literally going straight to the top of the pile.
So, if you're checking all those boxes, ground zero for this massive hiring drive is in Coimbatore. The exact spot is 965 Harita Center, 3rd floor, right on Avanashi Road at the Lakshmi Mills Junction. That is the physical hub where these teams are going to be based and where all the action happens.
To pull all of this together, the ideal candidate profile here isn't just about looking good on paper. It's totally about the mindset. You need to be deeply comfortable chatting with customers all day long. You have to be the kind of person who doesn't just, tolerate sales targets, but actually gets energized by them and has the sheer discipline for rigorous follow-ups. At the end of the day, Adessia is hunting for people who are just genuinely hungry for growth in the real estate sector.
While we've walked through the roadmap, we know the expectations, and we've seen the incredible rewards. Now, the only thing left to do is take a hard look at your own ambitions. The real estate market in Tamil Nadu is moving incredibly fast right now. So here's the ultimate question. Are you going to be the one actively closing the deals, or are you just going to watch the skyline change from the sidelines? Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you in the next one.